Hello, I'm Stan Stalnaker with Hub Culture, and we're at New York Climate Week going into its 5th year here in beautiful New York. Joining me is the man behind it all, Mr. Mark Kenber, who's the CEO of the Climate Group, which is the organization really behind Climate Week. Tell me, how has this event grown? I know it's 5th year and it just gets bigger and stronger every year.
Sure. Well, when we started in 2009, it was conceived as a one-off. We were 3 months away from the big Copenhagen climate negotiations, and it was felt there needs to be a big push behind it. And so we had, in the New York Public Library, we had the chief negotiators, the ministers from China, India, the US, the EU, Tony Blair, Ban Ki-moon, to try and give some impetus, get people excited about it. It isn't just a dour process of sharing out pain. This is an opportunity to create something new. And we had such a big audience that year, and such a sense that New York needs something like this during the week of the UN General Assembly to really get people's attention, that we've carried on ever since. And this year is, as you've seen, is bigger and better than ever before.
Yeah, like over 60 events, like all these marquee names on the first day, and then really taking it through the week, right?
That's absolutely. And yesterday, Monday, we had opening ceremony, and as you say, we had 15 or 16 major names, all pretty much singing from the same hymn sheet, although they represented a wide variety of sectors. We had evangelical Christians, we had farmers, we had military people, we had politicians, business leaders, industrialists, you name it, but all saying we need to take action now. And action is going to be good for us as businesses, as evangelicals, as farmers, because not only because we're going to suffer from climate change if we let it happen, because there are so many things we can do that will create jobs, create prosperity now. No time to wait, but you need to do it bigger.
So it's really not all about doom and gloom. It really is about actually opportunity and innovation, right?
Absolutely, and what we've seen in the last 5 years since that first Climate Week are some dramatic changes. In 5 years, the price of solar PV has come down 80%. I mean, that's a huge change, and we know that in many parts of the world, renewables are now cheaper than fossil fuels for generating electricity. We heard last night one of our states that's a member of our alliance just invested $2 billion in wind energy, and it costs them less than the prevailing fossil fuel price, and that's in Connecticut.
So that's like a massive sea change in terms of the ratio between renewables and these old fossil fuels.
Yeah, in the first half of this year, investment in renewables has been greater than investment in fossil fuels. However, it's still at a small level. Mm-hmm. And this is what Climate Week's about. It's about accelerating, it's about catalyzing and scaling. Because things are happening, they just need to happen quicker and they need to happen bigger.
Well, let's talk about what's coming down the pipe. The UN panel on climate change is issuing a new report on Friday, and there's a lot of attention leading up to the UN COP summits that are taking place this year in Warsaw, but then coming up towards 2015 in Paris, sure, which is sort of the marker that everybody's looking at. What's the Climate Group doing towards those, and how does Climate Week fit into all that?
Right, well, I mean, taking the IPCC report first, we pretty much know that it's going to say what we know already, that the science of climate change is clear, and that they think they're going to say 95% certain that it's human-caused climate change. So the science is no longer in any real doubt. There may be some doubts about which impacts are going to happen and where, mm-hmm, but we know they're going to happen, and we also know, and we'll find out this in the third installment of the report next April, that the options for mitigating emissions, cutting greenhouse gas emissions, are there already, and they're all being used competitively and commercially somewhere already.
So we know it's happening, and we know there's the solution. We also know there's the money, because the finance world has really gotten behind this.
And we know the policies we need, because policies are being implemented in one form or another somewhere around the world successfully. So the technical bits, the cash, the technology, and the policies, we know what they all are. So now it's about political will. It's about saying, yes, we can do this. I would say so. I think it's about getting past divisive politics and saying, yes, we can do this. And even for those people who may harbour some doubts about the science of climate change, there are so many things we can do that make sense anyway, mm-hmm, even if you don't believe in climate change.
Yeah, it's
energy efficiency,
improvement, right?
Yeah, it's making lives better. It's about increasing productivity, driving innovation, the things that are going to drive prosperity for the future. And Climate Week's about raising awareness of that, getting people who may feel on their own together and saying, actually, we're not on our own. We're part of a big group that's getting bigger and that's getting excited about this.
It's a big tent.
It's a big tent, and where things are happening. So Climate Week, next year and the year after, we will continue to use Climate Week as a way of exciting people. And it's about exciting and inspiring people to say, yeah, I can do that extra bit. And I can do it because it makes sense for me, it makes sense for my company, my city, my region, whatever it happens to be. And then showing that collectively, that's something actually quite important. And if you look at for example, we have a network of state and regional governments. They have 500 million a population between them. Our members, our corporate members who are meeting here today, worth over $1 trillion. And then if you look at other groups who we're working with, between us, we cover a pretty large bit of, we're part of the globe and of the world's productive apparatus. And if those people coming together can say, look, it can be done and it must be done, then politicians have no excuse not to.
Yeah, because they're working to do it. So before we wrap up, tell me about what the Climate Group is doing at large in the run-up to 2015. You guys have operations and activities spanning from China to Europe to here in the United States. It's a big footprint to cover. What are you guys focused on going over the next 24 months?
So at the heart of what we do is demonstrating that the low carbon future is not only the future, it's now, it's happening, and it's possible. And so providing that confidence that to people, particularly decision makers, whether they be corporate or politicians, that it's not a pipe dream. It's something that can be done, and in fact, it makes a huge amount of sense to do it. So we'll be doing that through providing evidence of what's happening on the ground already, working to catalyze specific bits of change. For example, one of the challenges in India has always been how on earth are we going to have a clean, green economy when we've still got 400 million people without electricity? So we're working on a project with many other partners to show that actually the clean, green economy is the way to solve that problem. It can be done. It'll be cheaper
Leapfrog.
Leapfrog. And we've seen this already in the mobile phone industry with internet. We can do it in energy as well. So we're doing that in India. We're doing similar things in China, working with cities, showing that you can leapfrog. You can have a clean energy strategy for a city, and then that can be multiplied. So demonstrating on the ground where we can catalyze change that can grow in scale, providing evidence, and working with leaders and key spokespeople to get that message out there, spokespeople who will resonate. And so that goes back to our opening ceremony yesterday, where we had representatives of really important constituencies here in the US, constituencies that decide elections. And if they're getting the message and they're evangelizing, then I think we've got a shot at getting that political leadership we need.
Right. Well, it's a very big mandate for the Climate Group, mandate with a global footprint, but nobody better to make it happen because somebody's got to do it.
That's
so,
right.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Thanks for continuing working to make Climate Week NYC bigger and better. Mark Kenber, CEO of the Climate Group, and myself, Stan Stalnaker from Hub Culture at the 5th Climate Week NYC.